don't believe that we are in a fight today, you're sleeping under a rock. If you get hit and you lay down and you cry and you fold up in the corner, definitely you will not win the fight. We show up to win. Our culture needs a lot of you young people in here to step up and stand out. There is nothing or no principality, power, division, devil can stop us when we're united. They can only get you when you're divided. When I see the American flag, I see us progressing to something that can be awesome and great. And if you don't plan on winning big, you might as well go home today.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, welcome back to the Officer Tatum Show. I would please let me know if you can see the show and if everything is good. For some reason, we pay thousands of dollars a month for internet here, and for some reason, it don't work like it's supposed to, which makes me infuriated. But let me know if you guys can see it clearly. Let me know if it's have downloaded correctly, all of the above, and I'll wait a minute. It looked like people are saying that it's good. I want to answer a question of a super chat. Waffle Cone 43 had made mention of something in the super chat in the last live. So I want to respect the fact that you gave a $20 super chat. And then, so I want to address the question that you had asked. The person asked for, in case you missed it, was asking me, what does it mean to say you support Israel? Is it the people? Is it the land? And all of the above. I think that's an incredibly good question. And I think that people who say they support Israel should explain why they say they support Israel. And I think the Bible is very clear on what supporting Israel means. Now, let's start out what it don't mean. Supporting Israel don't mean that you support everything that the state of Israel is doing politically. Supporting Israel doesn't mean that you support everything that Israeli people do blindly. Supporting Israel doesn't mean that you support every Orthodox Jew and what they believe in and what they do. That's not supporting Israel. Supporting Israel is the acknowledgement that Israel, a land, was the promised land for a people who are the descendants of Abraham. Now, is everybody in Israel the descendant of Abraham? No. But there are people who practice Judaism, who claim to be Jews. DNA peer-reviewed studies show that the Jews that are religious Jews that live in Israel are from the line of Abraham. And therefore, when you put all those things together, the land that was promised as the promised land, the people who God made a promise to as his chosen people are still in Israel today. And so the support from Christians, I'm saying from Christians, anybody else can have their own reasons, but the support from Christians is that we support the people in which God chose, where the word of God came, the prophets came, and Jesus came through. And that's it. It's the acknowledgement and respect. It's not the blind support and none of that other stuff. Now, Israel as a nation is another story that a person can also support. I support the biblical reasoning for the existence of Israel. And then I also support the people of Israel. And I also support what Israel is doing in Gaza. So if you ask me what my support means, those are the three elements of my support. And I'm trying to figure out, how far to go. I think that should encapsulate everything that I believe. But I think that what Israel is doing in Gaza is, as far as the totality of efforts to eradicate Hamas, is right. Whether some IDF soldier is doing something illegal, I don't support that. If somebody is shooting an innocent person in the rules of war engagement is not done properly and with respect and due diligence, I don't agree with that. But I don't think that's the totality of what the IDF is doing in Gaza. And when you go and attack a country, you get what you get. If people are crying, I saw a person in the video and it was very devastating looking. Rafah was a parking lot, and now nobody's in the parking lot because they had to be evacuated. But it is a parking lot, and I don't have zero concerns about it being a parking lot. I don't care at all. Long as the people hadn't been hurt and innocent people have been able to escape, destroying everything that's in Rafah, I do not care. You did this to you. Every time I think about somebody crying about Palestinians and all that stuff, I go back to October the 7th every time. I go back to the point of reference and I go, I don't know what to tell y'all, man. You elected a terrorist organization, the majority, elected a terrorist organization, and then the terrorist organization acts out on what you elected them to do. Their charter was to get rid of Jews from the river to the sea. And it doesn't say from the river to the sea, I don't believe, but it is to eradicate Jews because they believe they're on stolen land. That's equivalent to the Native Americans saying that their charter is to eradicate the Americans because they're on stolen land. Now, you imagine if the Tohono O'odham Nation decided to elect officials that had a plan to take back the Tohono O'odham Nation or the Pasquayaki Nation. And then they went and killed a whole bunch of people. And then they took them back to the Pasquayaki tribe or land of the Pasquayaki or whatever other native group. And these are native groups in Arizona. What do you think? What do you think gonna happen? We just gonna let them do it? No, we ain't gonna let them do it. They gonna be dead. And if they throw their people in a way, they gonna be dead. I just think I'm a lot less compassionate as other people are. And I do understand people's compassion in this situation. I'm not knocking it. You are entitled to your opinion. But for me, I don't think innocent people should be targeted. But if I got to go and get this building and you leave your people in the building, we'll do the best to try not to hurt nobody. But at the end of the day, it's got to go how it's got to go, bro. These people gotta die. These Hamas soldiers, they have to die. They have to be taken out. They got people in tunnels and caves. They're starving them. They're torturing them. They've killed babies. They've killed women as hostages. I'm talking about just the hostages. They still got people in a tunnel for 2 years. They're in tunnels. Who God knows what they're doing to these people. And you think I'm going to feel sorry for them. Man, you better let these people go or y'all going to end up. And I see what's happening to Gaza. And I think that Israel should take Gaza back. I really do. Some people may not agree with me. That's fine. I mean, we live in America. You can say what you want to say. But at some point when Gaza is given over to Palestinian people to live and they do this with what they were given, they don't deserve to have that land anymore. You guys got to move to the West Bank, migrate somewhere else. You have shown and proven that you are not going to do right with a peaceful plot of land that was given to you to flourish in. Instead, you elect a terrorist group that killed innocent people in Israel. They didn't do that in the West Bank. Now, they may hate Jews in the West Bank, but they're not electing a terrorist organization. That's coming from Gaza. And it's funny, nobody complained when Egypt owned Gaza, the area that's known as Gaza now. When Egypt had control of it, nobody was saying, look, it's an apartheid. It's a genocide. How do they own this land that the Palestinians own? And then when Israel takes control of it, they give the land over to Palestinians that then use all of their, or I don't know, some of them are not responsible for this, but the totality of what has happened is the resources that have gone into that region has now gone to terrorism. And all the money, all the aid, all the philanthropic work, and the big dogs in Hamas are living in Qatar somewhere and are all billionaires. And they've siphoned the money from the people. They're stealing the food and aid from the people and then blaming Israel. Don't blame Israel for this. You can't, Israel is not responsible for caring more about their people than they do. I don't understand where that measure is put into place as a fair assessment of morality, that you got to care more than they do. And I feel like Israel's doing an incredible job at trying to mitigate as a whole. I don't know what individual people are doing, but as a whole, they're trying to mitigate unduly unjustifiable loss of life of civilians. And if you look at any urban war in modern history, they are doing a better job at the suspect to civilian ratio, the combatant to civilian ratio, more than anybody else, more than America has done in Afghanistan and Iraq, more than anybody's done in urban war, which means highly populated areas, not out in the desert where they're just fighting. So when you look at all of that, you say, man, look, let's move on from this. Like, I get it. If there's a humanitarian crisis, let's work on that. Let's try to figure that out. Let's try to get people some food where it's necessary. If there's people, IDF soldiers that are killing people, innocent people for no reason, not because it's a drone, a strike, or they end up getting in a shootout and people in the middle of it. Not that stuff. I'm talking about somebody that just see a kid over here and shoot the kid or something. Like, no, let's hold that person accountable. That should be investigated. But all the rest of this stuff is, you're gonna get what you're gonna get, man. And I don't really, that's like Sodom and Gomorrah. When God destroys Sodom and Gomorrah, I'm not looking back and be like, oh, what God committed a genocide. God, they didn't deserve. It was innocent people. And when God made the decision to clean it up, after they had been disobeying God all this time, and He decided to clean it up, I'm not looking back and being like, God, why would you do something like that? It's like, no, I don't know, man. You got what you deserved. And the people, I don't think, the children of innocence, but there's a lot of people that aren't innocent. I saw them cheering when they had them girls in them trucks. I saw them cheering. I saw them Allah Akbar and celebrating and they crying. I saw them doing all that. Don't act like we didn't see that. They were celebrating and cheering Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, and they got hostages. What? And I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done. Put yourself in the shoes of the Israeli government and people and imagine somebody did that to your people. What would you do? I think, I couldn't be a president because I probably would be doing way worse than Benjamin Netanyahu is doing. If I saw a video of somebody beheading my family or somebody I love, or if I'm the leader of a country, somebody's on camera with the camera. I saw the video. People can't say this didn't happen. I saw the video. They're chopping people's heads off. It was sickening to me to watch. It just made me feel some type of way. They got people in the kibbutz chopping their heads off with an axe or some whatever weapon he had. He was just banging it on the guy's head and not chopping his head off. If I saw a video like that as the leader of a country, the retaliation will be so overwhelming that no one in history and for the rest of mankind's existence will ever try something like this again. My goal isn't just to do a little here, a little there. No one will ever think about committing an atrocity like this again in my country. That's if I was the leader. I'm going to use so much overwhelming force and devastation that no one would ever think about posturing up to murder innocent and take hostages. This will be the last hostage taking scenario ever to exist in history. If I'm the president, your country will be a parking lot. It will be a parking lot. And if you don't care about your kids, then I don't care. If you don't care about your people, why do I care? I'm going to eliminate your militants off the face of the earth, never to exist again. And I'm going to pray that we can avoid the innocents. God, give them grace and let's try to move as many as we can. But you are going down. You are going to go down in shame. You're going to go down defeated. You're going to be crawling on your hands and knees begging, please have mercy on me. And I will say to you then, God have mercy on you, not me. That's what I would do if I saw somebody doing that to my family and my countrymen. If they did that to American citizens, where they killed them by the tens of thousands and held them hostage and beheaded them, there is no taking it back. There is no, oops, I'm sorry. There's no waving the white flag. I want to give up today. You should have thought about that when you were planning, when you were plotting, when you were shooting rockets in my country, when you put the webcams on or with the body cameras on and you were flying them little flight things over and you landed and you went do, and innocent girls, women, and children falling on the ground and you going in from kibbutz to kibbutz, you should have been thinking about that then. Last thing, I promise, because I got to go get a haircut. You should have been thinking about that then. It's the same way I feel, and I feel bad for people who lose their life at the hand of police. But if you pull a gun on me, that don't have nothing to do with me. You make that decision. 2 + 2 will always be 4. I don't care I don't care if I like it or not. 2 + 2 is 4. I'm carrying the 2, you bring the 2, it's going to be 4. If you pull a gun on me as a cop in uniform, I'm a cop in uniform, you pull the gun on me, 4. 2 + 2 is 4. I'm going to shoot you. And if you die as a result, that's not my issue. That's your issue. You pulled the gun on me. You should have thought about it when you were driving in the car doing a high-speed chase and you had the Glock on your hip and you knew that when I crash, I'm going to jump out and pull the gun on a police officer. You should have been thinking about your life and your future flashing in front of you when you thought you were going to do that. Now that I have protected my life, you lost your life. I can't care more about your life than you do. Now, I'll pray to God to forgive me, and I'll pray for your family and stuff after. But when it happened, it's on, man. You come over to Israel, and you do that to the people of Israel. You gonna have as many virgins as you want, and let's quit acting like everybody's so innocent and everybody. I think a lot of people over there, and I'm minusing the children because they're brainwashed, and it's minus some of the adults that are brainwashed, but I think they wanted this to happen. They love that it happened. There's people in America right now that cheer on what Hamas did in Israel because they believe they're committing a genocide and that it's an apartheid state and they're occupying the land. So they agree what Hamas did. They celebrate what Hamas did. Hamas is freedom fighters to some people. So stop acting like everybody over there is innocent, starving people that just, I don't know what we didn't got into. No, many of those people hate Jews and they want to see them die from the river to the sea. And if they could do it to Jews, they would do it. Stop acting like it. Stop lying to yourself. If Hamas wouldn't have been stopped, how many people would they have killed? How many? They shot rockets over into Israel indiscriminately. If it wasn't for the Iron Dome, there would be hundreds of thousands of Jews under rubble. They don't care. They want this to happen to Jews. They wish that every Jew was eliminated. Many of them, not all, many of them. You ask them, who is it going to be? The Palestinian or the Jew? They'll say the Jew should go every time. And you got people like that living in Gaza as your neighbor, and they hate you and they want you dead. And they're going to plot until the end of time to make sure they kill as many of you as they can. And y'all acting like Israel is just the boogeyman. Keep playing. That's why I couldn't be the president. Keep playing with me. Everybody be gone. And we'll pray for you. We'll pray for your loved ones, and we'll get the bags for them and whatever you need. But we ain't finna leave our hostages over in your territory and you mocking us on television and they digging their own graves and we just gonna let it go. No, keep 50 hostages. Keep 50 of them and just let their families cry and whimper on my shoulder. And I say, there's nothing I can do about it. Get the hostages back to Israel. Lead your people aside and go out and fight. Hamas, come from up under the tunnels. Put your people in Rafah. Let your people escape. Let's talk about the war zone. Get your people away. If Palestinians cared about Palestinians, if Hamas cared about their people, move the people to the side. Why y'all still hiding behind people? Move them to the side and let's box. Last example, 30 seconds. That's like me being in a fight in the middle of the street and a person got their kids with him. He holding his kid. Put your kid down, bro, and knuckle up. Put your kid down and knuckle up. What are we even having a conversation about? But you want to hold your kid and fight me. What's up, B? What's up, B Tatum, with your baby in your arm? No, put your baby. Why you want to fight me with your baby in your hand? Unless you want your baby to get hurt because you run up on me, I'm not finna let you beat me up because you holding a baby in your hand. You're going to get knocked out and the baby going to fall. So don't do that. Put your baby down. Let it go with the mama. Get out the way. Let's get out of the mall. Let's go right in the street where it's just me and you, and we'll knuckle up and let bygones be bygones. That's what Hamas need to do. Get away from up under them people. Get from up under them tunnels. Come out to the Gaza Strip and fight like men and die honorably. Instead of hiding behind these people and letting them die and starve, and you are leveraging hostages with the people taking the hit. Hamas ain't taking no hit. The people are starving. The people are dying. The people are under rubble. The people are picking people out of the rubble. Hamas is in the tunnel somewhere eating bacon somewhere. Now, you know they ain't eat no bacon. I wish they made them eat bacon. I wish Israel, let me not say that. Only for Hamas. I wish Israel would provide food for Hamas and it's only bacon. I wish that they would do Hamas like that. I would. I'd drop food on it and be bacon. The Palestinian people, I'll give them real food. Hamas will drop bacon in your tunnels. Make y'all eat bacon, you sorry son of guns, murderous, thug, evil devils is what these people are. And I hope that they get extinguished from the face of the earth and let them people go. Them people in Gaza don't have nothing. Some of them don't deserve to be like this. Let these people go and get out there and fight and quit being cowards, because Israel going to come get you no matter where you are. And when it's all said and done, all y'all going to be dead. And maybe the West Bank will take the refugees, or some of these other Muslim majority countries will take the refugees. Hopefully they do it. Somebody said, how can Christian justify bombing 26 miles of land? I'm not going to entertain stupidity. Are you trying to say that, well, what did America do? What did we do during the Crusades? What did Jesus, what did God do? I mean, come on, I want to move on. Pull up the Ohio woman that spoke out. You know, people, I don't know what kind of God people think we serve, because I know that Jesus had made mention of a few things, but people take it out of context sometimes. I don't think people should intentionally hurt innocent people, but a warrior is a warrior. Fighting for what's right and fighting against evil is justifiable for you to do measures that will prevent evil from prevailing over your people. Ask God what he did in Sodom and Gomorrah. Ask God what he did in Noah's day. What did God do to everybody on earth? He drowned them to death in Noah's day. Ask King David, what did he do to Goliath? Did he walk up and kiss his butt? He beheaded Goliath. David was a warrior. What did they do in war? They rub each other butts and make up. What were the people of God doing in the Bible? What did Phineas do in Numbers 25? Why did God bless Phineas for life in his lineage through priest Aaron? What did Phineas do? Take your Bible out, you non-Bible reading people, not y'all, but I'm talking about somebody down the street, and read Numbers 25, and you tell me what God had ordered. You tell me how Phineas ended what God had ordered and how he was blessed, his lineage forever. Read Numbers 25, and you tell me what kind of God you serve. Okay. What kind of God you serve? You serve a God that no. God ain't never did that. In Moses' day, he ain't never do that. What happened? What happened when Moses parted the Red Sea and his people went through? What happened to the people trailing Moses' people? What happened to them? God is the one that opened up the sea. What happened to the people that trailed the children of Israel after the sea closed up on them? Okay. And then you play with God's chosen people. Who huffing and puffing over there?
Nothing. It's not.
You play with God's chosen people. Then what do you think gonna happen to you? I said, put the victim up. This is the Ohio victim. She finally spoke out. Benny Johnson interviewed her on his show the other day, and I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the whole interview. I just watched it in part. And I thought it was interesting to hear her perspective. Now, I'll say this. I don't think I agree with everything. I don't know what she was doing out there. All I know is that I don't believe she deserved to get punched in the face by a man who was standing off to her right. He didn't square up on the lady. She got punched in the face. I don't know what she said to somebody, but they don't give a person the right to punch her in the face and knock her unconscious. And if you think it is, then if the roles were reversed and this was a black woman and a white man punched in the face, are you still cool with it? This is her at a press conference. Roll the clip.
First and foremost, I just want to say that I don't want to relive what happened to me, 8 or 9 days ago. I'm here to talk about the future and how we can change it, how we can prevent this from happening to anybody else. These heinous crimes have to stop. I never want this to happen to anyone else, especially a mother, a daughter, somebody who is loved. So I just know what it's done to my family, not just to me. And I think that moving forward, we do need more accountability. And I definitely think that, we need more police officers, but like he said, the judges who are just letting people out with a slap. The man who attacked me and might have permanently damaged me forever should never have been on the streets, ever. And the fact that he had just gotten out of jail previously for something, he should have been in there for years. It's really sad to me because I can't even fathom how many other people who have been attacked by the same type of man over and over and over. In Toledo, in Columbus, Cincinnati, Dayton, our streets are being taken over and nobody is doing anything. I am so sad, and I need to be the voice to help all of the victims that never got their justice. So I just want to say that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So let's talk about this real quick. Some people, I can feel the tension. Not on here because y'all smart. I'm talking about somewhere else. I can feel the tension of them saying she's racist because she's saying they are taking over our streets. She has a point with criminals getting out. When I was a cop, we used to deal with this all the time. Every cop in America, most cops in America, not every cop, but most cops in America deal with the same issue. You take a person, you arrest them, they get right out. They go to prison and they recidivate. The same people committing crimes on a day-to-day basis, or the most crimes that are committed consistently on a day-to-day basis are from the same group of people. We had like a family in Tucson that committed like 10% of the crimes. Just one family. It could have been more than that. Just one family. I remember the son was on parole or probation, and a daughter was also a convicted felon. She bit the son and had AIDS. And so now she got arrested for intentionally trying to give AIDS to her brother while they both are a kid. These people are committing crimes against everybody. Then they committed crimes against themselves. Like, what are we saying here? And they just out free. I've arrested people that had 1,000 arrests. The guy I think he had over 1,000 arrests. Now you can say he was mentally ill, but 1,000 arrests. People have 500 or 400 arrests. Dude, I haven't even seen 400 police officers in my life outside of being on my regular patrol life. My regular life outside of patrol. I haven't seen 400 police officers. Well, he got arrested 400 times. There's a dude we used to arrest every day. D-Boy, we used to arrest, and I shout out to D-Boy because he changed his life. And I took a picture with him on my ex account back when I was a cop. But D-Boy was drunk every day. We arrested him every day. And I just stopped arresting him. I just started pouring his beer out. And that hurt him more than going to jail. So anyway, somebody said, can she sue the judge? What can she do? Judges have immunity. And I want people to understand that too, because people are like, oh, cops have not absolute immunity. They have qualified immunity. And judges also have qualified immunity. So that means that if they make a ruling, they can't personally be held responsible for that ruling acting on behalf of the state. And so you can't sue a judge. I think you should if there's malice. I think you should be able to hold a judge accountable if the judge maliciously let a person off, knowing and intentionally, or having the reason to know that this person will continue to commit crimes, subjugating the population to violence unnecessarily. But I think she had a really good point, because this guy assaulted people before. Let's go through the other people that got arrested and just looking at their, let me see, they have prior criminal history. Some of them have prior criminal history. So all of them were charged with felonious assault. Not all of them, but many of them were charged with felonious assault, aggravated riot, and assault. But the first dude, Merriweather, 34-year-old male, he had priors of firearms-related incidents or indictments, was previously out on a $400 bond. He out on a bond. That means that he should be in jail, but he bonded out until he have a court date. He should be in jail. But when you let these thugs out that's supposed to be in jail on bond, they get out and commit crimes. They're a danger to the public. $400. You can be poor and get $400 to bond out. Okay. Let's see. DeKyra in custody, no publicly known criminal history. Well, let me say this. I bet you $1 million if we do a little bit more research, we'll find that she has a criminal history, because the man that shot her, according to this document, he had no criminal history, but we know that he had a criminal history because we'll put it up there. Jermaine, it says no criminal history, but he's released on bail. The other, Aisha, who was one of the women, she's in custody on a $300,000 bond, 2 felony theft convictions in 2008, 2009 for stealing from Walmart. She should be in jail. Felonies. These not misdemeanor convictions of stealing. Felony conviction twice. She should be in jail. She wouldn't be out there punching people in the back of the head. Let's see. And this dummy, who's the one that actually punched her, he ended up fleeing to Georgia and was extradited to Ohio, and he did have a record. And I don't know if we grabbed his record, did we? Or we just have a news clip of him. Let's put the news clip of that idiot on here real quick so you know I ain't just make it up. Roll the clip.
If I can find love and kindness and forgiveness for the people who literally almost killed me and have probably caused a brain injury for the rest of my life, I think that you guys can find forgiveness for the people who maybe had some things to hurt your feelings.
Now that is Holly. She's the woman who was attacked in that downtown brawl, and now she tells us that the man who hit her has been arrested. Thanks for joining us at 10. I'm Tricia Mackey.
And I'm Rob Williams. Cincinnati police say an FBI task force arrested 38-year-old Patrick Rosemond in Atlanta earlier today. Again, Holly says he is the one who hit her. His new mugshot has not been released yet, but the Hamilton County Justice Center provided us with this one from his most recent arrest back in October. Court records show he's been arrested quite a few times, mostly for traffic violations, but there are at least 2 previous assault charges. He's now facing 2 counts of felonious assault and aggravated rioting in connection to the brawl. Rosemond was the 5th brawl suspect to be arrested, but we know there is at least 1 more suspect who is wanted.
You know what I think should happen in the justice system is that if you are out on bond and you commit a crime, you do life in prison. If you commit a felonious, violent crime against another person, you do life in prison after that. I mean, no, you do life. And I think a lot of people that's doing life should get the death penalty. Like if you got more than 1 life sentence, that's death. Why do they let you live after your natural life in prison? You got 3 life sentences. You only get 1 life to live. So since you can't live, they need to take the first life, and if you come back again, maybe they'll deal with it later. But at least the first life should be gone because you still got 3 of them to serve. death penalty. And then people in there that out on bond commit a violent crime against another person should do life in prison. Because you at this point, you are not able to be reintroduced into society again. You don't deserve to be in society. You may deserve to live. You can be forgiven by God and change your life around, but you're going to change your life around in prison. You're not going to change your life around on the streets, because clearly there is nothing that's going to make you change if you went to trial and for felony crime and you get out and commit a crime. Rational people who will change and make a difference in society, once they commit a crime and they finally get a bit of bond out, they say, I am doing nothing else. I don't want to hang with y'all. I don't want to talk to nobody. I'm facing prison time. I'm not doing nothing. I'm quitting. I don't want to go to prison for my life. But the ones who go out and do it while they on parole, probation, bonded out, life. Let everybody else live a functioning life. These people, I'm all for forgiveness. And maybe, just maybe, you go to prison and you give your life to Christ, and you got a life sentence, and you demonstrate that you're a Jesus follower and you change. Maybe we can let you out, only if you convert to Christianity. Some people probably say that's wrong. I don't care. I'm a Christian. I don't want you to go to Islam, but you convert to Christianity, maybe we'll have an exception in the law for you. But you got to do it for a while. You got to be reading your Bible. You got to do a quiz. You know what I mean? You got to be showing some fruits. You got to have fruits of the Spirit. You need to be able to prophesy or something. If you got the Holy Spirit, that means you got the same Spirit that was in Christ Jesus shall also be in you. That means you got some gift. Show some gifts. Therefore, we know you have the Holy Spirit. Maybe you can get out. But until then, you need to stand there and let all of us live a normal, functional life. Now, I do think maybe, and this is off subject, but maybe we should have some compassion for people that have terrible parents. And maybe you don't do life. Maybe you do most of your life. I don't know. Because sometimes parents just wreck their kids and their kids grow up to be a nobody. And if it wasn't for a lot of daddies out here that cared about their kids, these single mothers would tear these kids up and send them to hell. I'm telling you, if it wasn't for fathers don't get enough respect. And the kids don't appreciate their daddy until they be daddies. But I'm telling you, man, these single mamas, and not the good ones like y'all, I'm talking about your friend that you know that don't take care of their kids, alienating the kids from the daddy, and then ain't doing nothing for these kids. They just a glorified babysitter. Ain't teaching the kid principles, ain't getting the kid, ain't maximizing their potential, ain't doing nothing for these kids. And thank God they have a daddy in their life that care, that want to make a difference. All right. Let's on the subject of black fatigue, because people are saying in the comment section, black fatigue. I haven't heard this clip from Nick Fuentes. I think Nick Fuentes is a racist. He say he's not a racist, but he was on Candace Owens' show and pretty much said he was a racist. Is this the clip from the Funding family? Is this the clip from the Cartier family?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the one. This is the exact clip. Okay. Now, I don't have a lot of respect for Nick Fuentes. Let me just qualify this real quick. I think that Nick Fuentes is a smart person. I think that if he used his smartness and intelligence and his IQ for good, I think he could actually be a good force in the world. I think he could actually be an incredible force. He could be like Charlie Kirk, but he is like the alter ego of Charlie Kirk. If Charlie Kirk went rogue, he will be Nick Fuentes. I swear Nick Fuentes want to be Charlie, but he can't get his stuff together. He don't want to do right, I don't think. He has these crazy radical claims. He is racist. He may not want to say he is, but he's racist. He said on Candace Owens' show when they did the podcast that he considered himself racial at first, but now he think he's racist. He's a racist person that make illegitimate claims. But a broken clock can be right twice a day, just so you know. So I want to hear this because I saw Cartier family do a reaction to this video, and I heard the first 3 seconds, and I say, oh, man, this is juicy. So I want to listen to what he had to say, and does he have a point? In the comment section, let me know, do you think he have a point about some of the things he's saying? And also, is he a racist or is he not a racist? Roll the clip.
It's a shame. I really do believe, look, I think black people are not irredeemable, but there just needs to be brutal honesty. It's like, look, these black people are really struggling and they're turning into these maniacs. It seems like they don't do anything right. They're obnoxious, they're rude, they're inconsiderate, aggressive, cruel. And, look, nobody hates black people for being black. If there are people like that, I think that's exceedingly rare. And I don't consider myself one of them. The reason that people have negative attitudes about black people is because most people's interactions with black people are negative.
Most
people's interactions with black people is when you're stuck in traffic and you see a Nissan Altima speeding down the shoulder. And you say, what the f***? You're not supposed to do that. If everybody did that, it would just be another lane. And, not everybody can do that. But it's like these people have no respect for decorum. They think the rules don't apply to them. They have no respect for society. Like that's their interaction is they are a waiter and they wait on a black table and the black people don't tip. Rude. Like that's most people's interactions. It's stuff like that. They go to the DMV and they see a black person behind the counter and they say, oh, here we go. And the person's rude. Now, it just goes to show people are not racist. It goes to show people don't like people that are rude. That people don't, it's unpleasant. People want to be treated with consideration and respect. And it is true that black people are, in this day and age, unfortunately, seem to have very low moral character. It's not even just the violence, although the violence is pretty striking. If you live your life and you know that you're going to be mugged by black people, it kind of colors your opinion or perception of black people, wouldn't you say? If 99% of the carjackings and stabbings...
Let me pause real quick. I think that Nick Fuentes is 100% true, or telling 100% truth for certain black people. Like, if you've ever lived in America long enough to be around different groups of people, live in diverse cities, you realize this is not most black people. But it is sections of black communities and experiences that people are having with black people like this. I think black people do this more than anybody else do it per capita. But this is not every black person is like this. If you go into an IHOP, like we went to IHOP when we were in Orlando, Florida, the black people in there were ghetto, but they were nice. They were respectful. Some of the best service that we've had. Not every black person that's in the hood is a bad person. I grew up in the hood. Most black people in the hood don't like the black people that are acting up. Most black people in the hood are not acting up. It's the ones that act up get the most attention. It's the ones that's going up the shoulder like this that people remember. But they don't remember all the other black people that are sitting in traffic with. They just remember the one flying up the bankment. They go to Mardi Gras or go to, not Mardi Gras, but the Cincinnati Brawl. It's probably 40,000 black people out there. But they remember the ones who are beating up this white lady. And that's not every black, that's these knuckleheads. And I think that Nick Fuentes is 100% correct when it comes to the ends. N-words act like this. N-words are rude. N-words give you bad service. Ns do this stuff. Black people don't act like this. And I think Nick Fuentes is an example, in my opinion, of a person who only have a certain amount of experiences with black people, not the totality of how black people operate. He's never been in a neighborhood where black people are normal. He's probably experiencing black people hood, thug, N-words. And then now he's saying black people are like this. Most people interaction with black people are negative. I don't know if that's true if you live in Arizona, if you live in Las Vegas, if you live in California. Most of your negative interactions are not just black people. But if you're Nick Fuentes and you live in like Detroit somewhere, then maybe you'll think differently. If you live, like for instance, let's give an example. Most white people live around white people. Most black people live around black people. To be honest, most white people don't have that much of engagement with black people as much as they do with white people. Same thing with black people. When I was growing up in a black neighborhood, we never seen white people unless they're cops or crackheads. We were living our own life like this. And white people never really mess with black people like that. And a lot of the crossover are decent black people going to work and doing stuff like that, not the ends. And so I just put in perspective. I think that Nick Fuentes have what we call black fatigue. Like his experiences with black people have been negative. So he think that majority of black people act like this, which is just not true. Let me give you a statistic and then we'll finish the clip. If you look at the homicides, black community homicides, black on black violence, black on whoever, is about 6,000 people are killed every year due to black suspects murdering them. There's 40 million black people that live in America. 6,000 homicides, meaning there's 6,000, and that's just if one person killed one person. That'll be 6,000 suspects. 40 million black people live in America. So the majority of black people aren't even committing crimes. The majority of black people are not murdering people. But when you're in these situations like Nick Fuentes in isolated areas, you experience probably what he's experiencing. I'm just saying that it's not as widespread as he may be trying to make it out to be, or maybe not trying to, the way it's coming across. Roll the clip.
Shootings that you see in Chicago are by black people. When you're walking down the street late at night, guess what you're looking for? Black people.
In Chicago.
And you equate that with danger. And it doesn't take a lot of them to spoil the whole bunch like that. And we just want black people to take accountability and say, look, I'm not a bad person. I'm not a bad person. It just seems that every time I encounter you people, for the most part, it's negative.
You people,
and
for the most part.
Sometimes extremely negative, like I could get a gun in my face. You know? That's a problem. And people go, well, you are just loaded up with hatred and racism. It's like, I'm really not. I'm a really friendly person. I'm a really polite, friendly person. I give everybody a chance. But if I'm someplace and I see some black person walking in with their pants sagging and they can't articulate what their problem is or what they need, and they're rude and they're aggressive and I'm in fear for my life, like, yeah, I have a problem with all of that. And people go, and these black people go, well, you're racist, you're racist. It's like, no, I just hate inconsiderate behavior.
Pause. Now, I know this is a short notice. Can somebody pull the clip up of Nick Fuentes on Candace Owens' show when he said that he's racist? Because people saying I'm racist, people saying I'm racist. The things that you're saying is actually racist. You can't couple it by saying black people do this. I'm afraid of black people. When I see a black person, but then what about the black people you see that don't have saggy pants? Do you still believe that about them? Because you're acting as if everybody you encounter is the thug. You don't encounter any reasonable black people. Then where are you living at that you don't encounter no normal black people? I've been all around the country, and yeah, some of them ends are dangerous and you can be fearful of them. But that's not every black person. I went to Birmingham, Alabama, around nothing but black people. Most people are normal. And then you got the thugs who you can look a mile away and be like, yep, that person right there ain't up to no good. But to say most encounter black people, it just comes across that way. And then he was on Candace Owens' show pretty much saying he was a racist. And that's why people think you're a racist. And of course, he said a lot of other crazy stuff about black people. He said black people should be in jail for the most part. That's not like, it's okay to say black people need to be held accountable for things that they do, that black people are, especially in these inner cities, are more violent. They need to be educated. I mean, make a preface to say in the inner cities and other things like that. That'll make it sound more normal. But when you try to blanket black people and say they should be incarcerated for the most part, you're losing touch with saying that you're not a racist. Because he's not just categorizing violent behavior. Because if you ask Nick Fuentes today, and if he listened to this, he'd probably try to have an argument for it if somebody asked him. But if you ask him today, who's the biggest threat to America? He'll say black people. I could almost imagine that he would say black people. Who are the most dangerous people in America? Black people. No, it's not. It's these blue-head leftist nut jobs are the most dangerous people in America. Antifa, dangerous people in America. White liberals, and through legislation, will destroy this country. They are the most dangerous, people. They will get you locked up, shadow banned. They force you to wear a mask. They do all of this stuff that's detrimental to the existence of America. They have power. They have influence. Black people don't even touch a candle to these white liberals, to be honest. And you think about the world. Look at the African countries and you say whatever. But look at what white leftist weak people have done to the world. Europe is being taken over by Muslims. Why? Because of weak, I want to use the R word, white folks that are letting Muslims into their countries because they feel white guilt. In America, who's the ones that's going to make America fall off the cliff? It's white liberals. They destroy everything. And I would argue that the white liberal destroyed the black community, if you ask me. And then who is capitulating and supporting the foolishness that go on in the black community? It's these white liberals. They're the ones telling that black people shouldn't be incarcerated. What do you mean they should be incarcerated? They're the ones crying at defund the police, defund the police, defund the police. The white liberal is pushing that. The white liberal is running on that premise for the most part. And I'm not saying some of these black ones ain't bad, but the white liberal is the most dangerous to democracy and to the existence of the Constitution out of any group in the world. They are going, if we unabated, they are going to destroy America. And the powerhouse of America will cease to exist. And every single society will come crumbling down because of these nut job white liberals. Who's pushing for more immigration, illegal immigration in America that's going to destroy this country? It's white liberals. If they get their way, we're done. Who's pushing this transgenderism stuff? White liberals. They're going to be the death of America. So I think they're a lot more dangerous than black folks. Black folks voted 90% for Democrats and still lost. They do not have leverage. They do not have power like the liberals do. All right. This is the Nick Fuentes clip. Play the clip and you just tell me what you think about what he said. Roll it.
I always say on my show, it's just my value. I want to marry someone that looks like me, that comes from a similar background, because I want my kids to look like me. I want my grandkids to look like me.
But sorry, I just want to make sure, did you say I'm a racialist or I'm a racist?
You know, for a long time, I would say I'm racialist. Mm-hmm. Now I just say I'm racist. Okay, so when you say you're racist, because these definitions get changed around, racist, anti-Semitism gets expanded. What do you mean when you say I'm a racist? Because I think most people watching this would go, if you are a racist in the traditional sense of the term, why are you on this podcast, right? Wouldn't you just go, you know what, Candace is black and therefore I don't want to speak to her. Right. Certainly not going onto your show and saying, why won't Candace have me on? That doesn't really seem to line up with the traditional sense of the idea of racist, so. Yeah, and I'm using it, I'm being a little tongue-in-cheek. I mean, for the purpose of understanding, I'd say my views are I'm a racialist. But I do think that we need to deconstruct this idea of racism in the sense that, look, you're black, I'm white. It is what it is. For my entire life, people have been walking around and...
Because the words are off, but you guys are hearing what he's saying. This is on Candace's show. But he said, I used to say I'm a racialist, but I'm a racist. He go on to talk about how he want to marry somebody that look like him. That, like, black people are not all the same. This is where people become racist in my book. Black people are not the same. So when you say black people and you generalize, to me that's racist. That's like thinking all white people are the same. That's racist. For a black person to think all white people are the same. There's Irish, there's Italian, there's Jewish. I mean, you go down the list. There's different white people. So don't you say all white people are the same. I don't want to marry a white person. And you say, I want to only marry black. Think about this for a minute. If I said I only want to marry black because of my culture, well, what culture are you talking about? African culture? You talking about African American culture? You talking about Texas culture? You talking about the bloodline of Tatum culture? What are you saying? I don't discriminate against different people based on the color of their skin. And what Nick Fuentes is saying, he would. Like he could see a black woman and like her, but he can't be with her because she's not white. That's racist. Now, you can do it. You live in America. You do what you want to do. But he said it out of his own mouth. And he said stuff over the years. It's racist. But it's okay to be, if that's what you want to be. I don't care that Nick Fuentes is racist. I don't care that Nick Fuentes wants to only marry white people because he wants his kids to look like him. I don't care. He's entitled to his own opinion. But I don't want him walking around and saying he's not a racist. No, you racist, but it's okay for you to be racist. I mean, I want the people that are in this comment section, I know there's some white people in the comment section that feel some type of way about what I'm saying, but just say if I said I don't want to marry, I'll never marry a white woman. Why would I marry a white woman? I want my kids to look like me. What do you mean marry a white woman? Are you saying because she's white, these are the things that come along with her? This is who she is because she's white? And this, to me, that's what I think they're saying about black people. Because why would you want to marry a black woman? Because you want your kids to look like you. Why you want your kids to look like you? Exactly like you, I guess. Is it because to me it's superfluous? My kids are mixed. They don't have to look like me. They look like me, but they don't have to be the same color. Their DNA is not somehow destroyed because their mama is white and I'm black. It's that a reasonable, rational person want to be with a woman that's good for them, that's going to be a good woman, a good mother, and all those other things. That's what this is, in my opinion, that's what this is all about. But the clip didn't work, right? Did we finish the clip we already have?
We got about.
I'll let him finish it and then we move on.
If black people were super well behaved, we would be racist in the other direction. We'd say black people, oh yes, dude, yes. My day is about to turn around for the better. What can I help you with, sir? Please come right on in. Man, what a relief to see you here. You're a sight for sore eyes. If black people were known for being the best, then we would be racist in the other direction. Oh, finally.
Dude,
so
stop.
yeah, that really bothers me.
You know, maybe he's out of context. Maybe he just want to focus on black people. But I'm like, so you think white people don't commit crime? Like, are you saying that when you see a white person, you automatically think they tip? White people tip well? Now, you could have the argument that black people disproportionately act this way, but you can't say as if you're not afraid or you're not concerned with white people doing certain stuff. Because if you look at the statistical data, white people commit more crimes than anybody else. Like number wise, the murders, the grapes, you name it, white people have done it far more than anybody else. The incarceration numbers, there's more white people incarcerated than anybody else. So you can't say as if white people are not committing crimes. Therefore, there would be no police officers in Idaho. I mean, we just seen a dude murder 5 kids and 4 people in Idaho just got arrested. There would be no murders in Idaho. Therefore, we would need no police. We wouldn't have police in Montana. We wouldn't have police in Park City, Utah. We wouldn't have police in white majority areas. If the way Nick Fuentes is explaining it, all the police would just need to be in the black neighborhoods. But unless you live under a rock, if you watch the murder shows, any of the Dateline, 99% of people on Dateline are white people. So, and some police officer has to go to that house where somebody done poison somebody and kill somebody. So, everybody got trash. I think black people disproportionately represent violence and stuff. But to make the inference that you don't have any concerns, or at least that's what it's coming across as. Do you have concerns when you see white people at a convenience store that's doing this and they got sores on their face? You're not concerned about that person? You're not concerned about Hispanics that got MS-13 tattooed across their neck? Like, maybe he's just talking about black people, and I will concede to that point. But it's just the way he coming across to sound really, to me, like he has a bias against black people and he's racist. And like I said, he said on the show that he was racist. And that's where I'm getting that from. And then we not even talk about the Jew hate stuff that he be saying, denying the Holocaust or having an extreme view on the Holocaust. It's crazy to me. But do I think Nick Fuentes should be should be canceled. No, I think he should say stuff. And if you disagree with him, debate him. If you disagree with him, make a video about it. I don't think he should be shunned for what he says. And he shouldn't have to care about what he believes. Because in America, you can believe what you want to believe. If I want to say I don't like white people, that's fine. If I want to say I'd never marry a white woman, white women aren't, I don't want white women. I want a black. I want my kids to be black like me and look like me. It's ignorant. It's dumb. To me, it's racist, but it's nothing wrong with you saying that if that's your opinion. All righty. Let's get to the last story of the day, and this is probably the most fun story of the day, is Charlie Kirk on South Park. Now, I guess South Park didn't obviously say it was Charlie Kirk. I wish his name was Charlie, or his name was Kirk, or they made a little play on Charlie Kirk's name. But we all know who they making this guy out to be, in this Charlie Kirk. And I will say this. I love the way Charlie Kirk has handled the situation, because his current profile picture is his Cartman character on South Park. And I don't have a problem whatsoever with the South Park episodes that I've seen of Charlie Kirk, because they're funny. They're done in jest. It's exacerbated. If everybody else could laugh and joke and high side against others, then you could take it on the chin, right? So if somebody were making fun about me or making fun of me on South Park, as long as it's funny, right? It's not like evil where it's like, oh, I'm going to dig at him. It's like, oh, Officer Tatum, and I'm a crazy police lover or something. And if they make it funny, I'll laugh at it and I'll watch it. Roll the clip.
Oh my God, what makes you think you have the right to say what I do with my body?
Let me ask you something. If a pregnant woman is killed and the baby dies too, why is the killer charged with a double homicide?
Well, because people have different beliefs.
It's not about belief, it's about truth. Science confirms life begins at conception.
Play the clip. I think you ended it earlier.
We'll play it again.
Oh my God, what makes you think you have the right to say what I do with my body?
Let me ask you something. If a pregnant woman is killed and the baby dies too, why is the killer charged with a double homicide?
Well, because people have different beliefs.
It's not about belief, it's about truth. Science confirms life begins at conception.
Oh, it stopped right there. What's the other one? Play the other one.
Let's go, you right there.
That's the stupidest haircut I've ever seen.
You are wrong. Leviticus 3:17 says it shall be a perpetual statute for your generations throughout all your dwellings. So you can shut up, baby. You just hate America and you love abortions.
It's so funny. Sometimes I wish Charlie would say it like that too. He should. No, just play it. Roll the clip.
Hello and welcome to the 3rd annual Charlie Kirk Award for Young Master Debaters. More and more young people today are learning to fight for America through master debation. We're here to honor the recent efforts of a brave young man who has been furiously master debating for the past several days and has won himself not only this trophy, but also an all-expenses paid vacation to a beautiful 5-star resort. He has proven himself the true champion. Please welcome the best young master debater of our time, Clyde Donovan.
Clyde! No! That's my trip to a 5-star resort!
Come on, Eric, let's go.
Thanks, everyone. The Civil Rights Act was a huge mistake, and, I don't know, lesbians are an abomination of God. You all stole my stick! Yes!
All right, I think we got one more.
Yeah, we got one.
Roll it.
So let me ask you this. What is your definition of a woman?
Yeah. Putting down the mic in between the question, that is pure art, South Park.
What is my what? What is a woman? It's a very simple question.
Well, a woman is a lady friend who, gives you kisses.
You see, you can't answer the question, but something is male or it is female. Both sides in scripture agree to that, and that's just the truth. Next.
Another woke student totally destroyed.
Oh, jeez.
I think the whole thing is just awesome and hilarious. There's so much more I want to say about this, but the whole shtick, by the way, Comedy Central, South Park, you crushed the water. I compulsively drink water on campus. It's like, okay, boom, we got to stay hydrated. Now, the lozenges, we got to work a little. And by the way, the Holy Bible right next to it. I even said on this campus tour I was going to bring a Holy Bible with me to every single campus stop.
That's hilarious. Now it's a bunch of clips. If that's the last clip, it's one more. Okay.
It's about ice. It's the ice one.
Roll it. Where's the one with him in the toilet? All right, just play it.
All right, recruits, this is it. We're heading to a location that might be filled with illegals. Let's take these bad hombres down.
Hold on, is Charlie Kirk involved in this one? Okay, don't worry about this one. All right, so anyway, you guys have been able to see Charlie Kirk, and I thought it was hilarious. There's a lot more clips. I think in post-production we'll add a few more because there was one funny clip me and my wife was just dying laughing at was Charlie Kirk he was on the toilet debating somebody. And his mama told him to go to bed. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of clips and episodes out there. So go check it out. Charlie Kirk is great. I just disagree with him on like one or two things when it comes to having too many, more kids than you can afford. And I think I get what he's saying. I just would never say that. I don't need to be hyperbolic. Have the kids you can actually afford. Because if you don't, you're gonna end up like these other people that got 5 or 6 kids that they can't afford and they're not even taking care of their kids. So, but anyway, I appreciate you guys. Love you. Let's see if we got any super chats, and then we're gonna get out of here. Somebody said, does Brandon ever read the chat? It's kind of hard to talk, watch the video, and try to read messages going like this. If you super chat, I can see it. It'll pop up. It'll be red. And don't give me that I shouldn't have to pay for it. Not the super chat is $2 or something. It'll pop up. And so if you want me to see it, pop up. And I'll say this. I super chat people all the time. And I super chat a lot of money to people. You don't even have to super chat me a lot of money. If you want to say something, you don't see me reject your comment, super chat it. And I'll try to read it. All right, let me take care of this. All right, let's see. We got a few on here. It says, how can Christians justify bombing 26 miles of land? I already talked about that. Can she sue the judge? I already talked about that. And I appreciate the super chat. Thank you, Brandon. Keep shining your light. I appreciate it. Mambo. I always get that wrong. Let's see. Blue hair and Madonna is the danger to America. What's that? How you say that word? White liberals are probably the reason that POC vote Democrat. Lyndon B. Johnson. Come on. Lyndon B. Johnson, it was the beginning of the fall of the black community. Who else is propping up Martin Luther King and all these other people? It's the white people. Who's funding these people? It's white people funding these organizations and doing this stuff, man. And it's not just white, but you get what I'm saying. Like the white liberal will destroy America. They're the ones, let as many Muslims in the country as you can. How are you to judge people's lives? They hate God and all this other stuff. So, and it's way more of them than any other population of people. So that's where they become a real problem. White people don't act in a way as one tribe, but individual families and occupation, elites and working class. Many black people seem to see the world through racial tribes. I agree with that. I do agree with that. Let's see, Chula, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's see, don't forget to smile from the Wales. You're from the Wales. Yeah, this looks like a different country. I appreciate it. Oh, no, it's America. From the Wales. I appreciate it. Hey, God bless you. God bless America, man. I'm out.
Oh, the land of the free and the home of the